Thank you for staying with us here on the AM show. Now, the new educational curriculum was introduced in September this year. The curriculum, according to the Ministry of Education upon its introduction, was to focus on the total development of the child and not be examination focused, to discourage learning by rote, also known as chew and pour, pass and forget. Months into its implementation, there are no approved textbooks for teachers to use. Executive Secretary of the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, Dr. Prince Amma, says the approval processes are still ongoing in accordance with previous curriculum reform. So how is this working out? How are the teachers able to teach the pupils without the requisite teaching and learning materials? We understand the teachers have been given some packs to aid them, but is that respite enough? Today we put all that into proper perspective as we talk to the Ministry of Education, the Ghana National Association of Teachers and Educationists and other relevant stakeholders on this all-important conversation. Now, you watching me, you're a big stakeholder in this, so send me WhatsApp messages or activate the phone line so that you can also join the conversation via phone. We will be linking up via Skype with Mr. Peter Pate Anti, who is Executive Director, Institute for Education Studies. In the studio, I have Mr. Matthew Adjardjah, who is Head of Professional Development Department, NATS Headquarters. Good morning and thank you for being here.
Good morning.
And then on the phone, we've also got Mr. ASSIFUAH, who is Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education. So let's begin the conversation right here in the studio. Or shall we begin on Skype? Okay, not quite. So let me start with you, Mr. Adjardjah. The fact that there are no textbooks, how are teachers teaching now? I mean, we've gone past half the term, correct? Yeah. So how is it going in the classroom?
Yeah, I think the textbook issue is concerned to the teachers, particularly subjects like history, our world, our people, PE. Yes.
Now, which one is our world, our people?
Oh, it's a combination of geography, a bit of history, what used to be part life skills those days. But for me, I think that yes, textbooks are very important, but while we work on the textbooks, we should look at other things. You recall that the teachers complain a lot about the training that was given them. Now, if you interact with the teachers, you see that a lot of them are still struggling with the curriculum in terms of what to do. For instance...
But they have the packs.
They have the packs. You see, one thing we tend to forget as a nation is that we assume that once you pass out of college and you are teaching, then you can be a master of your own. But you agree with me that other professions, you go through mentorship. So for me, let's concentrate a little bit more on training our teachers on how to use the new curriculum.
Okay, whose sole responsibility is that? Because we know that NACA did some training,
yes,
but they also belong to professional bodies such as where you're coming from, NATS.
Exactly. We have been doing those things. As we speak, we have a lot of programs lined up in this direction. But even with the new curriculum, there are opportunities for teachers to learn. We have, for instance, the introduction of professional learning community, which is done once every week. I think your end here, journalists, you meet and share ideas. Yes. Over the years, that has not been prominent amongst we teachers.
Okay.
With the introduction of the new curriculum.
It came with that.
Yes. And
so teachers meet once every week.
Very good.
Okay. So you are saying that the textbooks are not out,
yes,
but that is not, it's really not an issue.
It is, but then it shouldn't overshadow the others.
Okay.
And
so
if I'll speak from a professional point of
yeah,
view.
please do, but try and answer this for me. So as we speak now, the absence of the textbooks, what's the impact?
Like I said, if you take a subject like history, because history was not part of the primary curriculum, they don't have any old textbook to make reference to. But if you take mathematics, and if you study the curriculum critically, it's not as if everything in the old curriculum has changed. So those old textbooks could still be relevant.
Okay, but right now, those old textbooks are rated as unapproved textbooks.
I'm not aware.
Because that's what it is.
I'm not aware of
because
that.
we got rid. I don't see how you're not aware of that. Because the new curriculum came with new ways of doing things.
Exactly.
And that also came with new books. And NACA says it has not approved any textbook. So there could be a relevant textbook, previous textbook, but it hasn't been approved.
Which were approved by the Ghana Education Service. So
but this is new curriculum.
They are relevant.
So what it is now is that teachers are going back to some of these books, correct?
Yes, they should. Even if we get the new textbooks, teachers will still make reference to some of those old textbooks.
Well, they're categorized as unapproved books. So how do teachers still use that?
I'm not aware that NACA has categorized the old textbooks as unapproved. Prince's response actually, from what I know, was this argument people were making that the state had not provided textbooks to the public schools, and yet private schools are buying the new textbooks for their awards. So in response, he said, no, if there are any such textbooks on the market, they are not approved. And I'm aware that NACA has been working on the assessment process.
In fact, that's what they keep telling us, except that we're thinking, and we're parents, we're stakeholders as well, we're also observers, we're thinking that it's not appropriate that the school year has started. We say we're going with new curriculum, and yet we don't have the textbooks. And they keep saying that they are working on it. Even though we're told that there is a certain history, we've been here before, and this is how it happened, we still don't understand why it should continue. I mean, is this like best practice? But it's interesting that you say that they still can make reference to the old textbooks there, because there are things there that are relevant.
Yes, and any other material that fits into the curriculum. And that's what we should encourage. That's what we should encourage our teachers to be doing. Let us not create this impression that textbooks are supposed to be teaching materials.
What are they supposed to be?
They're supposed to be reference materials.
What's the difference?
The difference is that, and I don't know where you school, but a lot of people will agree with me that the practice has been that I go to the classroom with the mathematics textbook, open to a page, ask the pupils to do same, and we refer. The teacher should research, prepare, and the
not teachers. Isn't that what you've been doing?
If we are doing that, and we see that it is wrong, and with the new curriculum, and let me tell you, anybody who studies the new curriculum critically, there are a lot of activities suggested in the curriculum. I'm not in any way underrating the importance of textbooks. But my caution is that we shouldn't make it look as if once the textbooks are out, everything, no.
Okay, so I asked the question of the difference between using it as a reference book and using it, what's the other thing that you said? As a textbook?
Yes.
Okay.
I said reference and what? Teaching material.
Okay, yes.
So teachers should not perpetually be teaching from the textbook.
So you shouldn't carry it always to the classroom?
Once a while you can do that. And that will be reference. But before you enter a class to teach a topic, you would have prepared. With the assistance of the resource pack and then the curriculum, you plan your activities. So when it becomes necessary for you to make reference to the textbook, you do that. Okay, but it should not be as if you go to the class, the textbook as a Bible.
Okay, so the packs.
Yes.
Did the packs come with textbooks?
No.
Okay.
No.
So what kind of materials are in the packs?
The packs suggest the sample lesson plans.
Sample lesson plans.
Yes.
Okay.
Then assessment tax questions. And let me repeat what I said earlier on. One critical component of this standard-based curriculum
is teachers sharing amongst themselves.
It's assessment.
Okay, so
nobody is talking about the fact that teachers have not been trained sufficiently.
So in the absence of the textbooks, teachers are only using the packs, which is the plan.
The pack, and I can tell you, if you go out there, there are teachers who are going onto the net researching. There are teachers who are making references to some of the old textbooks. In fact, yesterday when I had the call from you, I contacted a lot of teachers. Some of them told me that there were occasions they had to, even though they were teaching P3, P6, they had to make reference to P3 books, the old textbook. So it's not as if all teachers are sitting aloof waiting for.
So what should parents be using?
In the home?
Yes. Oh, because you know that, so when the schools build the parents, for instance, what books were they billing them for?
You are talking of private schools.
Okay.
That's where the confusion comes in.
Okay, but there are private schools who are using the GES.
The old textbook.
The Ghana Education Service curriculum. That's what I mean.
The new curriculum.
No. I'm saying that there are private schools who are using GES.
Yes.
As in who are part of GES.
They are supposed to use.
And they were billed. Parents were billed. They were asked to pay for textbooks. Yes. So I'm wondering
this
academic year, yes.
That is hot. That's why I told you Prince was responding to things like that.
Okay, so this is the chair of NACA that you're making reference to. So what it means is that the public schools were not built. Parents were not built.
No, public schools is free.
Okay, so you know how you say we should help teachers because parents also have a responsibility. Now I'm wondering what should be the guide for me as a parent. My child coming home every day, what should I do?
You see, there are opportunities for teachers and parents to collaborate. We have school management committee, we have school performance appraisal meetings, so that there will be that collaboration. At such meetings, you come to conclusions as to how you help the child even out of school. Those opportunities are there. You see, the challenge we face is that anything public, you don't show interest. The things people do at the private schools, if we were to extend 25% of that to the public schools, would have made a headway.
So you're saying that in the absence of the textbooks, which would have made the parents' work much easier because that's a reference material for the parent as well.
Yes,
they should collaborate with the schools and the teachers. Yes. How is that?
It's possible. Look, you don't take your child to school without knowing the teacher who teaches your child. And I know some parents do that. Okay, I'm only encouraging all of us that if you have your ward in a school, don't just drop the child and walk away, pick that child after 5. No.
But you realize that, and we've talked about the fact that we've done half the term already. Yes. And we're still talking about collaborate with the teacher. So find out from the teacher what they're teaching the child.
There. Some parents do it. And I still want to reiterate. If we zero the...
That sounds like the absence of the textbooks is for you, it's not a big deal at all.
It's important. But then we shouldn't make it look as if in the absence of the new textbooks, then nothing is going on. That's where I'm coming from.
Let's you hang in there. We'll continue this conversation, but let's bring in Mr. Peter Pate Anti, Executive Director, Institute for Education Studies, who is joining the conversation via Skype. Good morning to you, sir. If you can hear me, thank you for your time.
Good morning.
I'm not sure if you've done any monitoring yourself. Do you know how it's working out without textbooks in these schools?
Thank you very much. We have sent people around to check, and we've interacted with some of the teachers. Let me say that the complaints are coming from the teachers themselves, so I am a little bit disturbed listening to the NAT person indicating that we should not place much emphasis on the absence of the textbooks, because it's not the parents or we, the stakeholders in the sector, who are complaining about this issue. It is the teachers on the field who are complaining about that. And if the NAT person there is a rep for the teachers, and he is trying to downplay the role of the textbooks in the teaching and learning process, then it leaves much to be desired.
So you tell us from your point of view in terms of the monitoring, what the teachers have been saying. Why is it difficult for them? They've got the packs.
Yes, because you see, when you develop a new curriculum, you although you might have an old curriculum, you have old textbooks available. There are things in the new curriculum that should reflect into any document that will be used to teach the child going forward, and that is why the boss for NACA keeps saying that no textbooks has been approved, because they have to go through a rigorous process so that they know that whatever it is being put out there is in line with the new content and everything that has been provided in the new curriculum. So the teachers would wish that they would get a document that is universal for all of them, and that is very important. So you might want the teachers to refer to the resource pack, which is very important and has proved to be useful to them, but it is not enough, or what we say in economics, it is necessary but not sufficient. The teachers would want to have a document that cuts across all regions, all districts, all towns, all villages, all schools, so that when you are teaching the child A, B, C, D in a particular context in Accra, it will be the same.
So uniformity across.
Exactly, and that is the essence of the use of the test, because you see, when it comes to the tertiary institutions, there are varied reference materials which are available to the lecturer or the teacher or the instructor, and the instructor combines ideas from all these things and comes and delivers. The teacher at the basic school is supposed to do that, but then should be held to a specific format and a specific content, because at the end of the day, the children are supposed to go through the same learning experiences, they are supposed to go through the same learning activities, and they are supposed to come out with a uniform level of knowledge. And that is why in this new curriculum, there is the talk about the national assessment. So if you are going to have national assessment, class 2, class 4, class 6 going forward, and you don't have a uniform material to refer to, what standard are you going to use to measure these standards that we have set for ourselves? And that's why we agree with the teachers that although to some of them or to others in the sector, this textbook is supposed to be a reference material, it also serves as a learning material for the students. And you rightly put it, for the parents too. Parents are supposed to guide the child in the house. How does the parents do so? It needs to refer to a certain material. Those materials are not available.
Mr. Adjardjah here is proposing that we collaborate with the schools and go to the schools, find out from the teachers, so we can support the children in the absence of the textbooks.
So it is suggesting that the teachers will now give the activity to the parent each day, and the parent would guide the child in the house to go through, or the teacher will share his lesson notes with the parent, and the parent will now have the time to take that. I think we should be fair to the system.
Good question. Let me try and ask him. Can you give us a response?
Yeah, Mama, in the first place, the gentleman is misrepresenting what I said. I never said here that textbooks are not important. I even pointed out to you that if you take history, PE, our world, our people, we didn't even have books for those distance in the first distance. So there are challenges.
But I think the point where he's coming in, and that's where the follow-up is crucial, is the fact that you said in the absence of the textbooks, teachers are making reference to other materials, some are researching. Yes. So we're moving on, irrespective of the fact that we don't have the textbooks.
Didn't I say that? I said that. So my point basically, which is being misconstrued, is that we don't have the textbooks as of now. But teaching must go on. And as a professional, I'm saying that teachers could still be making reference to the old textbooks.
Okay, but you see, because you're coming from NATS, yes, it is also crucial if the teachers are complaining that they don't have textbooks.
That's why.
So I guess
I didn't come.
We were expecting that will also come out strongly.
I didn't come here to say that textbooks are not important. I haven't said that, have I? I haven't. But I'm being realistic. You don't have the new textbooks. So what do you do?
Okay, so let me ask.
You tell the teachers not to teach.
Okay,
no,
so is that the communication to the teachers
that
in the absence of the textbooks, try and find innovative ways of?
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Including making reference to the old textbooks.
Ms. Auntie, he's clarified his position.
Yes, teachers have always been innovative, but then pressure should be put on the relevant authorities to speed up the process. We agree that the process is rigorous and laborious, but then we are almost getting to the end of the term, and the materials are not in. So we should put pressure on the relevant authorities to speed up the process, and I think that should be the cause. Teachers have always been innovative. You go to the schools, teachers are finding ways and means to deliver the content to the students. I don't think there will be a single teacher in Ghana here who will go to classroom and says that because there are no textbook, he's not going to teach. So they know that they have to be innovative. What the authorities or what their leadership should do is to push the relevant authorities to speed up the process so that the textbooks are made available to them as early as possible. So that at the end of the day, the teachers will not be blamed that the students are not performing. You see, we are saying all this in context of the standard-based curriculum because there will be national assessment put in place and students will be assessed and their performance would be matched against those who are handling them. If you are not careful and we don't speak out at this time, teachers will be blamed that they are not delivering the content as it's supposed to be delivered. And the pressure will come back to NAT and NAGRAT.
All right, Ms. Auntie, just hang in there for me. Let's bring in Mr. EKOW ASSIFUAH, who speaks for the Ministry of Education. Good morning to you, if you can hear me.
Good morning.
Ms. ASSIFUAH, if you can hear me. And the issue of we have not approved any textbooks is coming up again. NACA is having to reinforce that point because the textbooks are still not out. What are we waiting for? What's holding us?
Well, let me say a very good morning to your cherished viewers. Before I start with my presentation, I want to ask a very simple question. I'll follow the discussion, and when did it become sine qua non for textbooks to be used in our various schools before teaching could be done? It's a question that I've tried so hard to even answer.
What question, EKOW? Come again.
I'm saying that when did it become sine qua non? When did it become absolutely essential to have a textbook before teaching could be done in our various schools?
Oh, you don't think that it's important?
I never said it's not important. I said when did it become absolutely essential? Put differently, are we saying that without textbooks we cannot teach in our various schools?
So explain to us why teachers are complaining then.
The point is that before 2017, there has been this consensus at the Ghana Education Service that we need to revive or we need to review our curriculum simply because we want our education system to prepare students for the world of work. And so if you listen to employers, they will tell you that for the past 10, 15 years, the challenges that they have been facing is because what they really need in their various businesses is not what they get, because the kind of students that we bring out or we churn out are not having the requisite knowledge to be able to be employed.
EKOW, we understand why we did the curriculum change. If we can go to the specific issues.
Yes, the specific issue, I'll get there. The point I want to make is that even though the curriculum has been approved, even though curriculum has been given to the various teachers to be able to use in our various classrooms, we understand that textbooks have not been approved yet and it has not been given to the various schools.
So my question was why? Because the teachers need the textbooks.
That is why I was building the point. I know the teachers need the textbooks, But the point also is that we need to achieve the rationale for reviewing the curriculum. And so if it has delayed, it doesn't mean it is a worst case, but we have to make sure that the rationale for bringing out the curriculum that is going to defeat the original attempt to make sure that at least our curriculum will be able to churn out the right kind of students. It's what is very much important.
So do I take it that, okay, so this was the plan. This was the plan that at this time, halfway through the semester or the term, the books would not be out. This was the plan from the beginning.
I want to assure the general public that by the end of the term, the textbooks are going to be approved for teachers to be able to use. The point I was trying to make, which you didn't allow me to make, is that we have to get the textbooks for our children. Yes, we understand. But we are also not in a rush to bring out any textbook or approve any
textbook. I also do understand you, EKOW. I just wanted to get the understanding. If this was the game plan from day one, then we know that we were not expecting textbooks till the end of the term.
It was not a game plan. The game plan was that we needed to approve the textbooks as early as possible so that teachers will use it as a reference point.
So,
unfortunately for us.
So what went wrong? Okay, you're coming to it.
We have not been able to get the right approvals because we look as if the kind of work that the National Council for Curriculum Assessment is actually reviewing is quite huge. And that is what we apologize for. However, I don't think that is a well situation that people or, commentators will have to claim or make the point that because the textbooks are not ready in our various classrooms, it's a worse situation. It is not, because...
Is it commentators? Are we paying attention to the teachers who are standing in the classroom who are saying that the packs are simply not enough? We need the textbooks.
We have given them the right resource pack. We have trained them. We believe that after the training, they would have been able to use the resource pack to embark on their teaching in the various classrooms.
So are you listening to what they are saying themselves? And I don't want you to take it from me. Are you listening to the teachers? Are you listening to the feedback from the teachers?
Essential. Textbooks, they are not absolutely essential to teaching in the various classrooms. It's supposed to be a reference point. See, in a very subtle manner, let me make this point. We know what is happening, and we know the kind of, we know some businessmen are trying to push this particular agenda because it's their cocoa season. But I am not saying that entirely.
EKOW, what agenda are you referring to?
But I'm also telling you that we know what is happening on the ground. The point is that, yes, we agree we are supposed to get a textbook for them. But it shouldn't also be an agenda by any businessman to push us to approve anything just because people want to sell their textbooks.
Well, but I'm not sure it's the fault of any businessman that NACA has not been able to approve textbooks.
We have a core mandate. Our core mandate as the Ghana Education Service or the Ministry of Education is to provide a proper and better textbook that is supposed to be in consonance with the rationale of reviewing.
We absolutely get it. I think we're here because you have delayed in approving the books. That's why we're here.
Yes, but it is better late than never. And the point I'm making is that even though we have delayed, but we have delayed for a better purpose, and that better purpose is to get the right textbooks that is going to be in consonance with the curriculum.
Okay, so EKOW, in brief, we should expect the textbooks in the next term, which is after Christmas.
What I can assure you is that by the end of this term, approvals would have been made. Businessmen, or if you like, publishers who publishes their book might have gotten the right approval.
Okay, so just before you go,
so that by the end of the term, we should be able to start having our textbooks in our various classrooms, so that parents and teachers will use that as a reference point, not to teach. You know, when you read, some of us who were young, as soon as you even take your textbook to class, teachers will tell you close it because we don't need it whilst we are teaching. You get the point. So I don't know when it started becoming so important to have a textbook before teaching to actually go in our various classrooms.
I don't know. I'm still a bit surprised that you say that you don't know when it became so important that textbooks.
It's a reference point. It's a reference book.
Well,
it is not absolutely essential.
So let me ask, how are we measuring, are we testing the effort of this term, the teachers and the students? Are we going to be measuring?
Can you come again, please?
So this particular term that we're in,
yes,
are we going to be testing the teachers and the students or the pupils at the end of the term? And I'm asking, say again?
Everything is detailed in the resource pack that we gave them. Assessment, how teaching are supposed to be done, everything as we train them is supposed to be found.
Okay, so I'm asking the question because we don't have the reference materials yet in terms of the textbook.
And are you saying that we can't assess students because there are no textbooks?
No, I'm asking questions, EKOW.
Yes, yes.
So you're supposed to be helping me out in terms of the answers.
No, but I'm also asking you that, are you saying without the textbooks we can't assess students?
I'm asking you, EKOW, so you tell me what it is.
We can still assess students without textbooks. I've already told you that it is not absolutely essential.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's the spokesperson of the Ministry of Education. Now, you've been listening closely. What's your comments? I think the fact that you said the textbook is a reference material is essentially what EKOW is also saying.
But I've not downplayed the importance of textbooks.
He says it is not, what's the term? Absolutely necessary. It is not absolutely necessary.
Well, I wouldn't go on that tangent, even though I've said that there are other equally important challenges that we need to work on. The textbooks are still important. For instance, standard-based curriculum. One key component is the assessment. As we speak, the materials in the resource pack, if you speak to the teachers, they are not helpful enough. I wish that...
How are they not helpful?
You see, we are moving from objective base, where you just recall. This one we want to create...
What does it mean? Can you make it a bit practical?
So, we want to create critical minds. Okay? So, in the teaching and learning process, you require certain skills to build that skill in the pupils. That's where the assessment comes in. From what I've picked from the teachers, they still need a lot of skills in terms of how to apply the assessment process.
Okay.
You understand me? So I would suggest strongly that the continuous professional development, the professional learning community periods, we should get people to assist the teachers.
So who do they channel their concerns to with all these challenges? Because from what the P.R.O said, I mean, everything is supposed to be okay with the packs.
Ghana Education Service manages pre-tertiary education. You have head teachers, you have circuit supervisors, and in fact, you have the union. It's unfortunate that the man who spoke on Skype seemed to create the impression that we do.
Because we haven't, and not to put you on the spot, we haven't had much from NATS really in terms of the concerns by the teachers.
It is the approach.
So, and if NATS doesn't speak, then Ministry of Education would say there are no challenges, the packs are enough. Because if we're hearing, you know, from individual teachers, meanwhile they are suffering, and you're supposed to be their mouthpiece.
You know something? People always expect us to come out and talk the way he spoke. But I've told you that we don't have control over the production of...
So have you issued a statement, for instance? Have you written to the GES to share your challenges with them?
Definitely, we talk to them. As I'm here, you called me just yesterday. I'll not be surprised by the time I get to the office. My colleagues are at the ministry talking of this issue.
So what are they saying? What are they saying? Because otherwise, then it will be like we are making issues out of nothing. Meanwhile, there are real teachers in the classroom who are suffering.
Yeah, that is true. But they should rest assured that, yes, we don't have control over the production, but we talk.
Let's activate the phone lines. I think we have just some little time to take your phone calls. You can give us a call, 030221169102. You can give us a call, particularly if you're a teacher. Let's hear from you. How are you coping in the absence of the textbook, which is apparently not very necessary. You can do without it. But now we also hear from the Ministry of Education that it would be out. You would use the textbook as a teacher and also as a parent in the next term, not this term. So this will have to continue a while longer. There's a message on WhatsApp. You can also send me WhatsApp messages. The number will be on the screen. You can send me WhatsApp messages. As I'm listening, teachers are to make research before they go to the classroom. If there are no textbooks, where should teachers go for reference, which will be within the scope? The teachers are complaining, even to the extent of attacking municipal districts supply officers with words. They come to the office. Let our leaders accept the fact. Okay, then come with a name, but I guess you're a teacher. Here's another person who says, Mama V, please ask Mr. Adjardjah of his classroom experience as an educationist. At my former school, ASSIFUAH, we hardly get practical material for the visual art department for the past 2 years. Okay, so you're talking tertiary, we're talking basic.
No, ASSIFUAH is secondary.
Secondary.
And that should be my village.
Okay, no, but this issue has to do with the primary schools.
Yeah, primary, KG to P6.
Yeah. So Brian says teaching in deprived areas in just like an adventure movie where one goes on suicidal mission. It is a mistake to have okay, no, I'm not going to go there. I think let's not get personal. You want to address this? Let me go to the phone lines. I'll give you the opportunity. Okay. Patrick is in Agona Swedru. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, Mama V.
Yes, Patrick. Thank you for reaching out. Let's hear you.
I just want to say that the way and manner in which we are managing our education is very serious. I don't know why old people just like them are saying textbooks are not necessary. I'm a teacher myself. And if you teach and you don't have a textbook to refer into, then what are you doing? Mama V, it is time that we take charge of everything, devoid of politics.
So Patrick, practically, do you carry the textbooks to the class?
No, I don't, but I refer to it so that I'll have content, good one, of course.
Mm. So in the absence of a textbook, what would you be doing?
Sometimes they were given a resource part to look into it. But, you know, those things are not much. They are very scanty. And if you want to teach and teach well, come again?
No, I'm listening, Patrick.
And if you want to teach and teach well, you need to have, you need to be master. You need to have content, a good one, of course, so that the impartation that you are doing will be okay. You get it?
So now, I'm sure you were listening. So you know now that the textbooks will not come this term.
That's what I heard them saying. But I just want to just say that they shouldn't say textbooks are not important.
Okay. All right, Patrick. I think the word was not absolutely necessary, and this was the P.R.O of the Education Ministry saying that. Eresi from Cape Coast. Eresi, good morning. I hope you're still there.
How are you?
Thank
yeah,
God.
I'm still here.
Okay, great. Let's hear you.
Please, I would like to ask him on the creative art. There are issues concerning that with me personally. We are told to help the students appreciate the arts more, and then they tell us to take them to museums to appreciate that. How many public schools or government schools have buses to take students to a museum or a place that they can appreciate art? So how are we supposed to take them there?
Okay, is that what you teach?
In creative arts, in the new curriculum.
So how are you coping? How is it working out for you? You share your personal experience with us.
We try to play audio recordings of those things for them. I'm sorry, it's breaking up.
Oh, but I can hear you all right.
Okay.
So you say you try to do audio recordings?
Yeah, we try to let them listen to recordings. And then if you tell a class 4 kid to read a book like Julius Caesar, how advanced is a class for kids' brain to understand the intricacies of a Julius Caesar book? So, yeah, as much as they are trying to make the education better from their standpoint, they should make it more relatable to the kids, and then make it more relatable to the resources available to us, the teachers, so that we can help the kids and then make the learning experience more accessible to the kids.
Okay. Eresi, thank you very much. Eresi from Cape Coast. Here's one on WhatsApp says, please, we need the textbooks. We do not even have a lesson notes to write the lesson notes. Yes. Okay, I'm not sure. What does that mean?
We write daily lesson plans.
Okay.
And weekly lesson plans. As we speak, those notebooks have not been supplied. So the teachers are using the old ones. But the rulings are different.
Okay.
So sometimes teachers have to erase, cancel, and it makes the whole thing clumsy. So you see, from that lady's this thing, you see the point that we shouldn't make it look as if once the textbooks are supplied, the same society will come around and blame us. There are other issues other than the textbook. For instance, you take history, you need to do a lot of visitation.
But for this conversation, I would not have known this. That's why I'm saying that, you know, let your issues be known. Otherwise, it would be us.
I've said.
It will be us.
I've said.
And the ministry. And that's not good enough.
The implementation of the new curriculum is not an event, it's a process.
Absolutely.
You understand me? So the issues will come up. But when these issues come up, let us not just look at it from one angle. I will still insist that aside the textbooks, the lady from my village, the issue of materials, I go around every corner of this country. There are schools, you go there, you have only 2 textbooks. Okay? And I still insist that giving teachers continuous professional development is very important.
Okay. All right. Let's end with this, and we have to go. Let's end with this message. I've got lots of messages now, lots of teachers reaching out and sending us messages on this conversation. This one says, my worst problem is how we couldn't plan for these materials before rolling out this whole curriculum, and someone is there defending that big mistake. Gosh, you didn't add your name, but thank you for the message. Here's a very last one. This one said the P.R.O talked about teachers going through training and should be able to teach. What about teachers' trainings on national service who have not gone through the training? From Kwesi Jonas, Nana Boro in Oti region. Also sending this message. We've got lots of them. I'm afraid we can't read the rest of the messages, but we hope that this conversation has been fruitful. Mr. Adjardjah, thank you so much for your time.